Ever wonder how much land you need to grow all the food that you would need to eat? I'm gonna give you a tour of my yard coming up next. Hey, what's happening, friends? I always get asked, what can you grow in Hawaii? How much land do you need to grow enough food to sustain your family? And so I'm gonna give you a quick tour around my yard and show you kind of what we got going on. We've been in this house for about 3 years, so some of the trees are not mature, but it's gonna give you an idea. In a couple of years, we'll have all of the food that we possibly need to sustain our family just off of our yard. So I'm gonna give you a quick tour around. First thing is behind me in a couple different areas. This is kalo up here, taro, and this is a native Hawaiian staple. That's what we make poi out of. You can eat the leaves, the stems, the roots, the whole thing. It's an amazing plant, and we have that in a couple of different places. Very easy to grow, and just needs a little bit of water to stay alive. Right here, we got bananas. There's always bananas. I don't know if you can see. There's a bunch right there behind me, but a small banana bunch like this can pretty much provide you with bananas almost year round. Those are super easy to grow, almost do nothing to them, and they just continue to produce year after year. And then you can also grow vegetables and things like that. Right here in the front of the house, there's a big bush growing. That's a tomato bush, so cherry tomatoes. There's always stuff coming off of that. As we go down here, I'm gonna turn around here and show you an ulu tree. That's breadfruit, right? So this is a breadfruit tree. Look at how big this thing is. This thing is less than 3 years old, but that is also another Polynesian staple. You get the big green breadfruits, you can bake them. They're delicious. It's kind of like a starch also, but super easy to grow, pretty much grows anywhere, and is a solid food source, especially in places that you have to be self-sustainable. Taro, bananas, breadfruit is pretty much all you need, and you'll be good to go. As we come down here, we have more kind of your tropical fruit trees. So right here, right behind me, this is a lychee tree, still pretty young, has not produced fruit yet, but will in a little while. And then as I go down this row right here, this right here is a little avocado tree. These are big avocado trees up here, not as good. This little one down here is a high quality avocado. So looking forward to that one getting mature and giving us some fruit. This one right here is a mango tree. Again, pretty young because we've only been here for a few years, but growing pretty quickly. Should be fruiting here in the next year or two. I got this whole entire row up above me, if you see these small trees of citrus. So we got tangerines, oranges, grapefruits, lemons, limes, all of those things are real easy to grow, do super well in the tropical climate. So you can always have lots of citrus if you need it. And once those start actually fruiting, it's almost like you can't even eat them all. There's so many of them. So lots of citrus. This whole row behind me right here is all citrus. And then I have one more lychee tree right down here. And then we have some dragon fruit growing over here behind me on the fence. It's kind of starting off. You can see these cactus looking things right on the fence right there. Those are dragon fruits. And then of course, more bananas. We got another banana tree outside the fence right here. This is a little fig tree right here. So they got a couple of fruits on there. I don't know, my wife likes to plant crazy stuff, and so it should be cool when those are actually fruiting and we can eat some figs. And then more bananas right here outside the fence. So just a quick kind of overview of what we got going on in our yard. That's actually not even all of it. There's a lot more stuff, a lot of ornamentals, but here's the yard. In total, we live on an acre. About a half of it is this grassy area with all of the fruit trees. And so you don't need a lot of land. I mean, really, we're not even using it very tightly. There's still a lot of lawn and grass in between. So you don't need a lot of land. I've seen people on 15,000, 20,000 square feet. My mom has done it for years, grows tons of food on a very small amount of land, because if you're in a place where the soil's pretty fertile and you get a little bit of rain, we live at about 1,000 feet of elevation, so we don't ever have to water. The biggest problem is we gotta cut our grass like every 2 weeks because it's always growing, and our riding lawnmower gets a lot of work. So that's just a quick tour of what the yard looks like and all the stuff that you can possibly grow. You could even fence in part of it, have a couple of pigs, have a goat if you wanted some protein, but in most cases in Hawaii, there's so many wild pigs and wild sheep and wild goats, you probably wouldn't need to do that around your home if you really needed a protein source. So if you have any questions, you can always put them in the comments below. Email me at dylan@buybigisland.com, or you can book a meeting at the calendar link in the comments. And see you guys next week. Aloha.